Are you tired of waking up every single day and you don't know the next place that money is coming from? Or are you that person that is not earning enough and you need more income, meaning you need more money, you need more financial freedom to add to what you already have? Then this video is for you. You have to stay to the very end to understand what we will be teaching you. This is the very best time to be part of the Happy Face community. Yes, it is the best time because we are starting a new series that teaches you how to get remote jobs, how to start an online business, how to become a freelancer, how to take advantage of creating travel content, and also how to increase your proof of funds. So if you're that person that is looking to travel and you don't know where your proof of funds is going to come from, this is the series for you. And like I said earlier, if you're also that person that does not know where your next money is coming from, your next feeding allowance, your money for your basic necessities is coming from, this video is also for you because it is time for you to take advantage of this series. If for any reason you are not following the Happy Face Travels family, what are you waiting for? Navigate to the top of our YouTube channel, click on all of the links, and make sure you join our Telegram group. This is the link, and also our Instagram page. The Telegram group is so important because that is where we'll be dishing out tips and tricks every day for things like visa sponsorship jobs, remote jobs, freelancing, online business, and how to travel for free, including getting your proof of funds and funding your own travel. What are you waiting for? I hope you have joined, and I also hope that you have subscribed to our channel. So let's just dive into this very topic I'm going to be talking about today. I am going to be focusing on remote work. Yes, just in case you're not sure, let me let you know what a remote job is. A remote job is any job, and remember, this is my own definition. Because, as a matter of fact, I am a remote worker. I like to define remote working as any job you do that you can do from anywhere in the world. How do I mean? So you can either work from your home and you're working like I'm doing right now. This video you are watching was created by me from the comfort of my home. Remember, today is a Sunday. So I was just in my house, and I created this content. It is work because this content is being published and shared on our YouTube channel. And that is a job because I am a content creator. So I have done my job for today, being a weekend, being a Sunday, and I did it from the comfort of my home. So that is a form of remote work. You can also be that person that decides to work from coffee shops, workspaces, and you just decide to travel around the world working from the comfort of your phone and your laptop. Remote workers are definitely everywhere and anywhere. Now that we know what remote jobs or remote work is, let me take you to how this remote work even started. And I tagged it, as you can see on my screen, the evolution of remote work. Those of you who have never heard about remote working, I'll let you know that remote work is not a new concept. This has been in existence for a long time. But the difference is not a lot of people have been taking advantage of the online space to work remotely. So, in that space, you have freelancers and IT professionals who have decided that, commuting to work or even working for somebody or even doing anything that has them to start going out every day is not for them. And they decided that they wanted something called work-life balance, and they became remote workers. Now, the remote work became so popular, guys, during the COVID 19 pandemic. Yes, because a whole lot of people were at home during the pandemic and they did not know what to do. Some people who, let's say, were traders, depend on going out every day to get their daily bread. Do you know that there are some people that if they don't go out in a particular day, they will not get their daily bread? Those set of people got really hit badly by COVID 19 because the kind of job they were doing was not such that they could do from their phone or their laptops. Now the COVID pandemic was on board. So a lot of people, as a matter of fact, a lot of people are still recovering from the COVID 19 pandemic. Some people never bounced back after the COVID 19. But you see, people, there's nothing wrong in having a job where you go to every day. If you have a job where you go to every day, or you're a trader where you have a store, or you have something that you have to go to get your daily bread, I will advise that you also include something or you learn a skill. In fact, that is the easiest way. And we're going to be talking about all of this as we progress in this video. You need to know that there are other things you can do at the side. It might not be your main hustle right now because you have that main hustle you go to every day. But this can be your side gig that in case, because you don't know tomorrow, things are happening around the world. There are things like protest, there are things like pandemics, there are things that can just keep you at home. And if you're at home, it means that zero income. Why would you want to live your life like that in this 21st century? This is 2024. Not having an online presence or having any means to exchange a service and earn an income online, I do not think that is the best way to go. Regardless of what your profession is, you can actually get clients online. Yes, I said it. Now that we have gone ahead to talk about the evolution of remote work, the next thing I want to talk about is actual benefit of remote work. What is even this remote work? I have explained to you guys and I have told you how this thing has been around for a while, but not everybody knew. But after COVID, a lot of people that I know told themselves that, we're not going to rely on only non-remote works. We are going to look for something that in case there's a pandemic or there's a mishap or whatever it is, we're not going to go from hero to zero. Now that we know this, let's look at the benefits of even this remote work. The very first benefit that I like to point out is something called flexibility. Yes, darling, flexibility. I love the flexible nature of remote working. I'm not telling you this because I am guessing from somewhere or I'm just trying to guess from the top of my head or I'm just, no. I am telling you this because this is what I do. I'm a remote worker, meaning that all things I do from the comfort of anywhere. I don't have a brick and mortar where I need to go to every day. If I'm at home, I can work. If I'm in a coffee shop, I can work. If I'm at an airport, I can work. If I'm on the road, I can work. Anywhere, if I'm in a restaurant, I can work. If I'm at the beach, I can work. The only thing I need is my laptop, my phone, and my internet connection. Yes, so that is flexibility. It means that I can just wake up and leave my current country, I can leave my current location anywhere and I am good to go and I can start working. So you see, that flexibility is something that I love so much. And there's another thing that I love so much, and that is increased productivity. If you're a business owner, you will know for a fact that people who work remotely for you tend to achieve way more than those that work from the office. Why will I say this? Yes, so if someone decides that he or she wants to work for 8 hours a day, he or she will bring out the 8 hours and put in all the necessary work for that day. There's no such thing as, oh, while I was commuting, for those of you who don't know the meaning of commuting, that's why you were going from your house to your workplace, something happened, the car broke down, there was a problem, you couldn't get to work, and before you know, that day is gone. There is no excuse. And as an employer of labor, one of the reasons that people love to employ remote workers, because some of you might feel like, okay, what if I decide to become a remote worker? Are there people who are willing to employ me? Yes, my darling, so many people are willing to employ you because right now employers have realized that remote workers are actually the MVPs. Yes, they give you a lot of value. And I'll explain what I mean. Once a remote worker knows what he or she is doing, he or she would have gotten the perfect setup they need to carry out their daily task. And they ensure that their daily task is finished before the end of the day. You're not under pressure checking, oh, the office is going to close, they didn't come early while the person was coming, the person didn't get to work on time, there was a mishap, there was this, there's so many things. And the employer, especially small businesses scattered around the world, they like remote workers and freelancers because the first thing is that they don't need to cater to your light, they don't need to cater to your internet, they don't need to cater to anything. They just give you the job, pay you your salary, and you get the job done. And how you get the job done is not their bother, it's not their problem. So remote working will continue to grow. This is the right time for you to take advantage of learning a skill that will allow you to start working remotely. There are so many free tutorials online on platforms like YouTube and Google for you to learn and start your remote work journey. After all, you're watching this video today and it is absolutely free. So it means that there are other creators like myself making it our duty to educate people that working remotely is something that you should think about if you do not have a career path right now. And even if you do have a career path and you feel like your career path is not working out for you, you can also start looking at a new career path. Another advantage that I would like to say that I love about remote work is the fact that you can do one, two, three, and even more jobs. And you can work for multiple companies, multiple employers, and multiple clients. So that gives you an edge to just succeed even faster. Another thing here says cost savings. Both employers and employees can save money through remote work, just like I explained with you guys, because the employer will reduce the overhead associated with maintaining office space and the cost of internet, light. I just explained that. So, darling, a lot of people, whether we like it or not, are going to be hiring more remote workers as the years unfold. Now, another thing you need to know that employers are looking out for and why they are going for remote workers is access to a broader talent pool. What do I mean by that? You can stay in a country in Africa and work for a company in America. Yes, because it's a remote job, you don't need to take any form of transportation every day to the office. So you can actually go anywhere in the world and work for some other company in another country. Isn't that amazing? Imagine you're an African working for a US or a UK or even a Canadian company as a remote worker. You are definitely going to earn way more money than working for a company in your own country. So to me, that definitely is a benefit. And one of my own all-time benefits is the improved work-life balance. This is a benefit for me personally. I'll tell you why. It's a benefit for me personally because I, as a mother, I would love to be around my kids. I would love to see my children. I would love to monitor what they're doing. I would love to teach them and groom them. And Working remotely gives me that advantage because I can be around them. After all, I work remotely. I don't have to physically go to anywhere. So for me, it gives me the work life balance I look for. And for you, you can also get that work life balance because you can decide to take a vacation. And in that very vacation, you don't need to call off work because you've taken your laptop, which is your office, and your phone, and you work from that location. You can also decide that you want to go out once a week, twice a week, and it is fine. Nobody's going to ask you, why didn't you come to work? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And all of these things. So, yes, guys, I like to say that these are the things I really love about working remotely. So, let me not just come and sweet you, sugarcoat you, just make this remote work look like something that has no disadvantage and only advantages. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't like to call it disadvantages. I like to call it challenges of remote working. Because, in my opinion, they're not really disadvantages because you can work your way around it. Remember, everything in life has its pro and its con. So, I'm not going to sit down here and tell you that everything is all rosy. So let's look at the challenges one after the other. The first challenge is called isolation and loneliness. As a remote worker, for someone who is not even married, you don't have kids, there's nobody, you're just alone at home and you're a work from home person. Remember, you're not going to have to interact with any staff physically, you're not going to interact with anybody. You might feel lonely and isolated. But if you're in a company like Happy Face, we don't feel lonely and isolated. I can tell you why. Because every now and then we interact with clients. So our company has the academy part of it where we teach clients from morning till night. For someone like me, most times I'm teaching, I am interacting with my clients. Cannot remember ever being bored or isolated or feeling lonely even for one day. If you're the kind of person that feels like you need human communication, you need to talk to somebody, you should choose a job that gives you that ability to interact with humans so you can become an online educator, you can become a digital marketer, because a digital marketer, you will talk to so many people. As a matter of fact, in a day you can talk to up to 50 people. If you're talking to 50 people on the phone or on the internet, you're going to be bored. You can choose those kind of gigs. You don't have to go for things like web designing that it will be only you and you alone. If you know that you're someone that gets lonely or feels isolated easily, choose niches that will give you the ability to talk to people every day. And if you're that one person that says, please, I don't know how to go about this, I don't know how to choose a niche that I'm going to talk to people, that is where the Happy Face Academy comes into play. And that's why we always advise you that if there are things you're not really sure of, instead of just blindly sweeping yourself into it, book a consultation and ask specific questions so that we can answer you, and you will reduce the amount of time you will waste going round and round in circle and making a mess of the whole thing. Yes. So if you understand this completely, the next thing I'm going to talk about is communication barrier. For people who work remotely, like I said again, there might be issues of communication barriers, like maybe you have a client who has a different mindset and you're trying to communicate with this client over the phone or over the internet space. Not everybody understands communication. That's the truth. You would say one thing, you would even do a Google Meet and share your screen and teach them, but sometimes it's either they're hard in listening or they're hard in understanding, and they're not even making any effort to improve themselves. There's nothing you can do about that. A client who is not making any effort to improve themselves, and you as a person who is knowledgeable and intelligent is teaching them and they are not understanding, and you've tried everything you can do, broken it down in pieces, explained yourself, Sometimes, no matter what you do, they will still not understand. At that point in time, there is communication barrier and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. You as a person, you might go and learn how to communicate it more effectively. But if you realize that out of 10 people you're communicating with, maybe just two do not understand you, then the problem might be from the client and not from you. Next thing is the work-life boundaries. Because it is remote work, we can decide to start by 9 a.m. and trust me, by 9 p.m. we're still working. In fact, that happens to me every time, and I end up working 18 to 20 hours some days because, when the work is going, you're enjoying it, you're at home, you don't have to close from any office, you forget that you're supposed to have a break and you keep working and working and working. Make sure you don't have that problem. What you need to do is to force yourself to give yourself a break. No matter how much your workload is, give yourself a time that you must close and go and rest. Because if you don't rest, you will come back, you will feel sick, you will break down, and you will not even be able to do your work anymore. Another thing is what you call technical issues. So, technical issues can come from so many angles. You can wake up and your laptop is no more working. You can wake up and your phone is no more working. You can wake up and your internet is so bad that day. So many things can happen. If you're in Africa, you might not have light. So, these are all technical issues. But you must find a way around it. If you're a remote worker, you can never ever give your clients or your employer the excuse of internet connection, except it is a worldwide pandemic and everybody knows. If that's not the case, you must find a way. If you have to have multiple internet connectivity, if whatever you need to do to ensure that you never ever go out of internet connection, you must do it. Then another thing I like to call the last five is the distraction at home. Because we are remote workers, somebody can come to your house, your family member, you have house chores to do, and things that are non-work related. You have to be disciplined. If somebody comes to your house, let them know that I work from home and this is my work hour, you have to leave. If you have chores, you need to wake up early and give a particular time for your chores. You cannot be distracted. So you have to go out of your way to ensure that you are not distracted. Now that we've talked about the challenges, you need to know the essential skills for working remotely. Because if you don't have these skills, it will be very, very difficult for you to work remotely. And these essential skills, I like to call them: one, self-discipline. You have to have a high level of self-discipline because nobody is with you, watching you face to face. You need to be able to meet your deadlines. You cannot tell stories because if you do, your employer will tell you to stop working for him or her. It is not charity. This is not a charity case. When you work, you give value to the company, and the company in turn generates income that they pay you. So once you are not working and bringing value to the company has every right to terminate your contract. And your self-discipline has to get to the point where you understand your duties that are stated in your contract. There are no sentiments. You can't take a job and they give you deadlines and they give you targets to meet, and tomorrow you want to claim that the company did this to you or did that to you. That is a no. So you have to be disciplined physically, spiritually, and mentally. Yes. The next thing I'm going to talk about is communication skill. You have to find a way to be able to clearly communicate with everybody around you. Your colleagues, your clients, your employers. You have to be able to communicate with everybody. Speak. Record your voice. Listen to the way your voice, you know, sounds. Some people's voices sound in such a way that they're not fighting with you, but when they are talking, they sound like they are fighting with you. And it's not their fault, but the only thing they can do is actually listen to themselves, take correction, breathe when they are talking, talk slower. There's nothing that you cannot learn. Communication, you have to learn to communicate properly. It would take you a long way because your colleagues will be happy with you, your employer will be happy with you. If you're an online business owner, your clients would love to want to talk to you. There are some people that if they're talking to you, you just want them to get off the phone because of the way they sound. And the truth is that they can actually put in the effort, but they just don't want to. Another thing you need to know is something called time management. Even if you're a remote worker, you need to understand that wherever it is you're going to work or you are working, they would have deadlines, timelines to do certain things. So don't go there and take them for granted and start submitting anytime you like as if they don't have what they are also doing. To ensure that you deliver on time and appropriately, you need to know that you must always prioritize your task. Another thing I want to talk about is technical proficiency. It is very, very important for you to understand the tools that you need to work remotely and learn them. There are so many tools you must know how to use perfectly. Things like Zoom, Google Meet, project management platforms, collaboration tools. You need to know how to use all these tools. Because if you don't know how to use it, you're just like a mechanic who says he's a mechanic and he doesn't know how to use his spanner and any other tool that he's supposed to know how to use. So for those of you who say, oh, I'm a beginner, I don't know what to do, go and join an academy where you will learn the beginner tools. You can actually learn the beginner tools in like 7 days. It won't take you so long. Just be honest with the academy and tell them that you don't have so much money, that you just want to learn the beginner aspect that will get you to start your remote work journey immediately. If you don't have a particular academy you want to attend, you can also come to Happy Face and we will be there to put you through. All you need to do is go to our Telegram group, join the Telegram group, and send us a private DM as to how you want us to help you. Now, let's continue. Another thing that you must have as a remote worker is something called problem solving abilities. Remote workers often have to address issues independently and find solutions without immediate access to support from colleagues. Because I see a lot of people working remotely, and when they have a problem, they're always saying, can I get somebody to talk to? Can I do this? And where I work. Where you work is not a remote job, so please shush. Yes. And there's another thing you need to understand. When you're going to a new environment, you need to unlearn to relearn. You cannot go boldly and be saying, I need somebody to put me through. Then you shouldn't have applied for the job. Go and look for an academy that will put you through and teach you. And you're patient to learn. If you are being hired as a remote worker, it means that there will be little or no supervision. That means you need to think on the go. You have to be a problem solver. So if your employer does not speak to you in 2 to 5 or even 7 to 14 days, what are you going to do? You will stop the work? No. This is one of the skill you need to learn. If you're a digital marketer, remote work is not where you start learning and start confusing yourself. No. If you're a digital marketer, learn it and understand it completely before you take any job. If you're a content writer, learn it completely. Whatever you need, learn it completely. When you enter a company that has hired you to work remotely, ask them for everything you're supposed to do. If you don't know it, go and look for somebody to teach you or go and start researching online. Because you cannot come and start asking them, I want to do this, I want to do that. They expect to give you a task and they expect you to deliver. That is one of the skills of a remote worker. So you can't claim to be a digital nomad or a remote worker and you don't know this. I'm sorry, it is a shame because you will be on your way to getting your contract terminated. I still encourage people to look out for jobs with no experience. Yes, that way it's called easy apply. That way it will reduce the amount of mistakes you will make and the kind of tax they will give you. Also, you should join places that will give you free internship, or you pay to get an internship. Yes, because that's the only way you can learn fast, because that company will be giving you tasks and you will be able to know how to do those tasks independently. Now, tools and technologies for remote work. I'm not going to tell you all of the tools because then we have to sleep in this class, and I don't intend to sleep in this class. So the very first thing I'm going to be looking at here is your communication platform. You have to understand that you will be communicating by the internet virtually. You're not going to a physical office, so you're not going to be seeing anybody. So you need to know how to use things like Google Meet to communicate. You need to know how to use things like Zoom to communicate. I really love Google Meet. If you're a student of mine, you know that I love Google Meet because Google Meet is easy. So it's very easy and you can just start with it. So the two platforms I will encourage you to go and study on how to use it completely, because I still see some people, even they want to join, a meeting with me on Google Meet, you have to still tell them this is how to unmute your mic, this is how to do this is how to do that. They still don't know how to go around using a Google Meet. And this is a tool that you must know how to, if you want to start your remote work journey. You should also know how to use Zoom. Zoom is also very popular. So between Zoom and Google Meet, you are good to go when it comes to communication platforms. There are other ones like Microsoft Teams, Slack, and other ones, but the most popular is Google Meet and Zoom. So if you can use this tool, you definitely can also use Microsoft Teams. The next one is something called project management software. People are different and companies are different, but you need to know the popular ones so that whatever your company is using, you won't be lost. There's Asana, there's Trello, there's Monday.com, and there's some companies like my companies that also rely on Google Doc to store all our information. So whatever company or whichever path you are towing, you need to know how to use all of these tools. It is very, very important. The next thing I want to talk about is file sharing and storage. So there is Google Drive, there is Dropbox, there's OneDrive. You need to know how to use all these things, because if you don't know how to use them, you will also have a lot of issues becoming a remote worker. Another thing you want to know how to use is something called the time tracking tool. You need to know how to track your work hours and manage your time efficiently, because no company is going to give you a task and you don't deliver on time. Once you don't deliver on time, you get a bad appraisal and you'll be on your way to termination. Another one is security softwares. So you should be able to get antivirus programs, VPNs, and things that will protect your system so that you don't lose all of your work. And another thing I'm going to talk about is VPN. If you're living in Africa, there are some websites that will not open, professional email websites like webmails and some other websites. So you cannot be giving your employer, your clients, or even your colleagues excuses. You need to know how to use a VPN so that if that particular site is not opening from your own location, you need to use a VPN. So these are things that you have to learn. You can't run away with from them if you actually intend to start your remote work. If you are serious about being a remote worker, you can't just go about giving them excuses that you could not access a particular site. Now, we have said all of these amazing things. You all are beginners. I want to believe that the reason why you're interested in this particular series is because you're a beginner. And as a beginner, you need to start with remote jobs that have no experience. As you can see here, remote work for beginners with no experience. Because you don't have experience yet. And the more you work, the more you will find the experience. So you look for jobs with no experience. If you're already experienced, Fantastic. I also have something for you till the end of this video. For those of you who are still a little bit confused as to remote working, I can assure you it's not hard. And if you're still thinking if you should go into remote work, let me read this out for you. Companies have implemented new policies on remote and hybrid work, and 53% of US survey respondents say they plan to continue working from home at least part time. It's clear that the future of work will involve remote, co located, distributed, and borderless workforces using digital tools to stay connected and productive. So it means that remote work is not going anywhere anytime soon. So, for those of you who are beginners, the first thing you need to do is identify transferable skills. That is why I'm saying you should start. You should go and register for a class that will teach you. You're already in our community, we're teaching you all this for free. The only thing you need to do is to come closer, join the academy, and ask all your questions. That's all you need to do. So, even if you don't have direct remote work experience, you may have skills from other jobs or experiences that are applicable. So, if you're a digital marketer and it was not a remote job, you can transfer that and become a digital marketing remote worker. That is just what I mean. Another thing is learn remote work tools. So you need to familiarize yourself with the remote work tools. You can learn from companies like Happy Face. You can also learn from places like Udemy and Coursera. The only advantage that Happy Face will give to you is because you can talk to us one on one. So if you're in our school, a teacher will talk to you one on one. Udemy and Coursera, they are online platforms that you actually learn. You can see this, you learn online. So if you're not somebody that is good at learning online, then you might want to look at coming to a physical online school. Like, I like to call it physical online because, in as much as 90% of the workers work remotely, they still have a physical office in a country or in countries. So, so schools like Happy Face, you can join them, or you can also just, if you're somebody that can learn completely online, you can do this. Can you see Udemy? So you can do an Udemy course, or you can do a Coursera course. So you can do an Udemy course or you can do a Coursera course, whichever works better for you. Another thing you must do is something called build a strong online presence. See, a lot of people are not remote workers, and the funny part is that anytime we put out get a remote job, a lot of people will apply for the job. Then you ask them to submit their portfolio and their community link, and they don't know what that means. You don't know what it means because you have not gone to immerse yourself to learn and understand the tools that you must have as a remote worker. Building a strong online presence. And you can build that presence anywhere: LinkedIn, Telegram, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever works for you. Look at the Happy Face community. This is our community. We're going to do this video, we're going to share it in our community, and those of you who are going to watch it are going to watch it. That's the community. You should have a community as a remote worker. You need it to build your online presence, to get people to give you jobs, to get clients, to get employers. You need a community, and you need to give your time to build it because it must grow every single day. And the last trick I'm going to be sharing with you guys is, as a beginner, start with entry level remote jobs. Look for entry level positions or internships. I talked about internship at the beginning. Look for internships and role. You can look for that. You can look for digital marketing. I made digital marketing, content writing, and creation blue because I want you to understand these are things that you can start easily, immediately. Customer service, data entry, and virtual assistance might take you way more time. But you see this one, digital marketing, content writing, and creation, you can start today. What are you even procrastinating for? Is it that you don't like to become better in your life? Why are you procrastinating? Why have you not started? The more you procrastinate, oh, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, the more you even eat into your savings. And as you're eating into your savings and more money is not coming, you're doing yourself a disservice. Why not take that little money and pay for a class, start a class, and start making money as a remote worker? Is that not better for you? Is that not better for you? Isn't it? And there are so many platforms like Indeed, places like Recare, places like Work Remotely, so many platforms in the world that you can get remote jobs from. And in this particular series, we're going to be teaching you every day how to actually find this remote job. So you just need to join our platform and ensure that you have followed us on Telegram, and you would hear all the latest tips and tricks about working remotely, becoming a freelancer, and just funding your trip and traveling around the world. Even if you don't want to travel, it is not a problem. All you need to do is make sure you have enough money in your bank and in your pocket. Now that I've said all of this, I told those of you who have experienced that I have something for you. Before I unveil what I have for you, I just want to give a recap and be sure that you all understood what I said. If you think that you cannot become a remote worker, that's not true. You can. There are so many remote job opportunities also for travelers. So if you want to travel around the world, you can start as a remote worker. In as much as we share visa sponsorship jobs every day for you guys, you can also look at the remote work sphere. Now, let me take those of you who are already remote workers to something that you would like. I told you guys that content writing is something that you can easily get. Can you see these guys? Content writer, content writer, content writer. These are all available jobs. Digital marketing, these are lots of jobs that you can actually start right away and you can start applying for. So all you need to do is navigate to the Happy Face Travels website and start applying. My darling, application is free, absolutely free. Look at remote jobs Dubai, remote jobs in the USA, remote jobs in the USA. These are all free, and these are jobs you can do from anywhere in the world. You don't need to physically go to that country, and you will be paid well. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this particular tutorial. This is a free course. It is a free teaching. It is a free lecture, and I hope you enjoyed the free class. So guys, if you want to start your remote work journey, do not forget to come here, click on the link and join our Telegram group and send a private DM and tell us what you want to start and how you want to start it. Also follow us on Instagram. Remember to follow us on Telegram and Instagram is very crucial. You can also ask the admin on Telegram to give you the Facebook page for you to follow, because by the time we start doing giveaways and giving out some things, it is only those who are subscribed to our channel, those who follow us on Telegram and Instagram, that we will be giving these things to. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you're starting your remote work journey immediately. Take care guys, and we love you. Bye.